Hello, I'm Alan Nafsker from smarterway.com. Today we're going to touch on what it takes to become a wedding photographer. Not just a wedding photographer, a professional wedding photographer. We're going to look at the very first things that you should weigh. I have quite a number, actually, I have 20 observations about how one becomes a wedding photographer. Uh, So let me start by guessing that you've bought a new camera. Congratulations. Now you can call yourself a photographer. That was easy, wasn't it? But the problem is you want to become a professional photographer. And even more dangerous, you want to become a professional wedding photographer. It's not so easy. You'll have to work, and more importantly, you will have to pay attention. And sometimes that is something that maybe you didn't do in school, but if you want to become a professional, it's a very tight market. You're going to have to compete, and so you're going to have to pay attention to what it takes. I'm just messing with you. You can do it. Uh, Maybe you've already taken a class or two and done everything in preparation, and you are ready to shoot your first wedding. It's my idea to make a few short bullet point videos to help you either way, either if you're an amateur and just getting started or you're nearly a pro. If you're already a professional video photographer, uh, you can leave a comment at the bottom and maybe encourage these young people. Uh, Actually, I'm not a career professional photographer. I'm a retired professor of political science. I shoot about 30 weddings a year and about 250 sporting events each year. If you're curious about that, you're going to need to get out there and be seen and hand out some business cards. Uh, I shoot high school and college sports because because it's fun, and two, uh, uh, these athletes will someday be getting married, and perhaps if you hand them or you're responsible for sharing on the social internet some sports shots, they will remember you at their wedding or when they're looking for a wedding photographer. Uh, but odds are you're not going to be able to sit on your butt and have people come to you. The odds of that are about nil. Uh, it's not something that's just going to fall on your lap and you're going to suddenly become a wedding photographer. You're going to have to pay your dues and basically get your name out there. You can advertise as much as you want, but if you don't have a portfolio, something to show people, you're going to be left out. So today, let's get started, and I want to talk to you about how to start a wedding photography business. I have a few observations, insights, and suggestions. By the way, if you want a printed copy of what I have to say today in uh, bullet point format, it's available at smarterway.com. Number one, in the time that it takes for you to sit and think about all the reasons why you should or shouldn't start your own business, uh, you could have already signed up for a class at the local community college. I taught at a community college for 37 years, and I think we offered the young people something. If we didn't, I don't think they would have come back. Uh, uh, I suggest freshman business class, freshman level business class, and a freshman photography class, a starter photography class. Now you may think you're more advanced than that, but this is a general rule for beginners. So I'm talking to beginners. Number two, uh, it's just that it seems everyone today knows what they're doing, or they say they know what they're doing. And until you get to know them a little bit better, then you learn that they don't. They don't know what they're doing. Google Dunning-Kruger effect, and basically that's some scientific psychological research. It says you don't know what you don't know, or you don't know how much you don't know. And so many people enter a profession or avocation or craft like photography, and they think they know everything, uh, but they don't. It's amazing. And you're just starting out. Let's be honest. Be realistic. There's a lot for you to learn, and you shouldn't be uh, overconfident. Think you know everything already. Sign up for a class. Number three, wanting to be a wedding photographer is something like wanting to be a professional athlete. So you need to ask yourself, am I willing to do the work? To start a business that offers a professional and reliable service. Think of it like a professional baseball player. They show up, 160 something games a year, and it's at a very high level. The wedding business is, you got to be reliable. You have to show up, and you have to do a professional job and hand them a professional outcome. If the answer is yes, then let's get at it. It sounds like you've already started. If you're still watching this video, you've already started. Number four, you don't have to quit your fast food job to do this, and certainly don't quit school to do this. But in a short amount of time, you can start making enough money to start moving in that direction. You can quit your job, but you should definitely finish school. Number five, you don't need the best equipment. It's probably more about the photographer than the camera. Uh, the human eye, I'm not sure, can tell the difference between a 4 megapixel picture and a 20 megapixel picture. Uh, some photographers don't even need a camera, they just rent everything they need. That's probably where I'm in a medium sized market, and there's one place in town that will rent you equipment, but it just doesn't seem feasible. Uh, if I were you, I would, number six, if I were you, I would buy a kit. That's the first thing I did. Buy a mirrorless camera with a kit, two lenses, a long one and a short one. I'm not here to sell anything, but you know the marketplace as well as anybody. Start at Amazon, and to be honest, Walmart and Best Buy have nice kits. But I would definitely get a mirrorless camera. The whole industry is moving that way, and I've worn out more than a few shutters on digital SLRs. Uh, they have moving parts, and if you're going to do this, you probably need something as reliable and high quality as a mirrorless camera. My mirrorless camera makes a sound when it takes a picture, but it's not a mechanical sound. It's a sound that's played by the camera uh, that mimics the shutter. Anyway, this is not a class, and it's certainly not on camera gear. I'm just saying an Instamatic won't work. You're going to have to invest in a nice camera. My recommendation is a mirrorless kit. It's low cost. It's a good start. You can always add on or move up a level later. But to start, a kit will be perfectly fine. If you buy a kit, you're going to have to switch lenses a few times. So go to Amazon and buy a shoulder bag for a camera or a camera waist bag for the lens that you don't have on the camera. I know it's a little inconvenient, and you might think it's not professional, but it's fine. Uh, Number 8, you can also look for equipment at pawn shops. COVID-19 decimated the entire economy, but especially the photographers. I mean, there were no sports events and certainly no weddings. And towards the end of COVID, I went to a pawn shop and found a Sony mirrorless kit. Bought it and gave it to my niece. I shoot Nikon, so I found a nice mirrorless kit for maybe a fourth of what it was selling for in the stores new. And as far as I could tell, it had like 16 pictures. The guy had taken 16 pictures of a new baby and then decided the camera was too much, so he took it to the pawn shop. So I think I got lucky. You could get lucky like that too. If you found a Sony mirrorless kit like I found, that would be a great start for any wedding photographer. Number 9. Other people own entry-level equipment, and their work is still amazing. It's not the camera. So I know a lot of people, photographers, are gearheads. I mean, they buy everything new and they're totally invested in whatever's new to the market, and I think that's going to give them a competitive advantage. Here's my theory: if you spend as much time as they do on developing your craft and your style and composition and studying light, and just use the gear that you start with, you'll pass them. Later, if you want to upgrade and get the same things that your competition has, then you're sure free to do it. But this video is about starting out. Number 10. I hope you're still interested. You probably have some doubts. Whatever you decide, you know that it is possible. I'm an old man, retired, and started a 30 weddings per year business in a medium market. There's 100,000 people that live here at a time right when COVID was ending. So it can happen. It can happen for you. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to pay your dues. And a lot of people will be negative and tell you, oh, there's too much competition and you have to work for somebody else for years before you can start out on your own. That's not true. This is still America. The government is not licensing wedding photographers. You just step out there and there's 2 photographers. Both take pictures, and hopefully your client, your first client, will choose you because you offer a superior product at a lower price. I think these negative people that are telling you that, they just don't want the market separated. Maybe they're in the business and they don't want the competition. That's natural. Or maybe they're just negative people. Some people encourage discouraging others, so you need to be wary about that BS. I'm telling you, you can do it. You're going to have to study and do your research, and you're going to have to hand out a lot of business cards. But financially, I don't think it's a difficult startup. You can go to Walmart or Best Buy and start for less than $1,000. It's easy. Uh, and I think Office Max sells uh, 500 business cards for $9. So have some printed out and get out there where people are taking pictures and hand them out. Uh, some upper class, number 12, some upper and middle class, upper middle income couples will be looking for the best photographer money can buy. And they're going to choose probably someone like me or maybe 40-year-old, someone who's experienced and have maybe 15 or 20 years in the business. Uh, they look at their portfolio and they're impressed. But you might get lucky. Go out there and shoot for the upper income couples. Other couples will be on a tighter budget and looking for an entry level photographer. And so you win those jobs with price. You still have to have a portfolio, but price will get you in the door when you're dealing with middle and lower middle income couples. Number 13, you're definitely going to need a portfolio. People won't believe you. Oh, I take great pictures. And even if you take great pictures at the football or soccer game or at the park or you manage to catch some wildlife, you still have to have those wedding photos in a portfolio that you can show people. Basically, you're going to have a website. Hit like and subscribe. Then look for my next video. I have some bullet points about how to build a wedding portfolio. And that certainly is going to help you get started. Number 14, being a good wedding photographer is not just about taking nice photos. That's the easy part. Frankly, the camera will do much of the work for you. You're going to have to be organized, and you're going to have to always treat people with dignity and respect, and you're going to have to be very, very polite. You wouldn't believe how polite you have to be. It's your reputation and word of mouth, and once you screw up, everybody will know about it, I promise. It's a big day for people, and people like nothing more to talk about their wedding, how it went, the good points and the bad points. And all these girls, the brides that you're going to photograph, they got a dozen friends and they chat all day long about nothing but this stuff. So you have to dress nice, clean yourself up, shave. Uh, uh, I'm not saying dress like it's your wedding day, but I would maybe invest in a few ties and a jacket. Number 15, look at where you're going. Hopefully, you're going to the top. Search online for different wedding photographers, not just in the United States, but around the world. Go to their websites and look at their work. It's not all good. Some photos are better than others, and you need to actually look at it to train your eye to be critical. Someday, you're going to have to call your own wedding shots, so practice now. Basically, at a wedding, I'm taking 1,000 pictures and I will deliver 500 digital photos. Of the 500 digital photos, they can choose which ones they want to print or which ones they want to put in a book. But how do you know what's a good picture and a bad picture? They're not all good. I don't know, it's kind of like films when I was a kid. When I was your age, I thought every movie was great. Porky's, uh, Hollywood Nights. Uh, as I grew up, I suddenly found out and watched those movies again and realized that they were really bad. Same thing with photographs. So I'm going to give you a homework assignment. I just can't resist. Really, and I'm dead serious. Download 100 random wedding photographs from 5 different photographers around the world and put them in a folder. Then delete 50 uh, images. Delete the least valuable 50 images. So you're going to cut them in half. Or you can go to a stock image site like pixels.com and put the best 50 in the shopping cart. You don't have to buy them, of course. It's just practice. You choosing and distinguishing between what's good and bad. This should give yourself a sense of direction. I do this at least once or twice, and it wouldn't hurt if you did it all the way through your career. Uh, and that is called developing your own critical eye. I think it will also help you develop your own style. If you can see what is consistent in the photos that you decide to keep, the photos that you like, then you're more likely to be able to recreate them. Maybe you're already extremely confident of your own work. I guess that would be a good thing. I guess you can go overboard, but if you do the homework, you're probably going to realize that you've probably got a way before you get to the top. Some of the photos that you find online, uh, if you're being realistic, you will say to yourself, I can't do that. That's okay. You shouldn't give up. I mean, you've invested 20 or 30 minutes here listening to me. Uh, but it's a ladder to climb, and as long as you realize that, then you're likely to climb and not just stay on the same rung. Gaining experience is what it's all about. What you're looking for is your first wedding. You may have to do it for free. You may have to do it for a friend. You may have to do it for a very low price. Uh, but it's not about money at this point. You're just starting out. It's about experience. Number 19, I'd started talking about you need to start looking at your own style. When you shoot a wedding, people want a harmonious collection of photos. They don't want some too dark or too light. They don't want some uh, happy and some sad or somber photos mixed in. They want to see harmony. They don't want a hodgepodge or mixture of a bunch of random photos. Uh, they want the same tone. In the old days, they called it film stock, and you could tell a roll of Fujifilm versus Kodak. Uh, and of course, every film company made 35 millimeter film with a different stock. So it'd be 8 or 10 Kodaks that you could buy, 8 or 10 Fujifilm uh, for film cameras that you could buy, and they would all turn out a little different. Think of old movies. Uh, some of the old movies they all look different. One studio would use a different film stock, or you want to find your own look, and uh, and I'm going to make a bullet list about the various styles that you might adopt or meld. There's traditional, there's photojournalistic, there's art, like super creative. Uh, by meld, I mean you might take two and put them together, but I need to start thinking about what your look is going to be like, because you can't just shoot a wedding. They expect more than that. Number 20, and we're finally finished. Get your own domain name. I use Bluehost to host. You can go to expireddomains.net and find an aged domain. I would try to get the word photo or photography in the domain so Google will find you and recognize you faster. Okay, thank you. I appreciate the audience. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, this is not a class. I'm going to make some more videos, uh, and I'm not selling anything, and I don't think you should take it as a school lecture. Hopefully, it didn't come across that way. I'm not doing that anymore. Just take this as friendly advice. If you're going to be a wedding photographer, it's going to take some work. It's a serious avocation. Uh, if you'd like a printed copy to look over, uh, you can find it at smarterway.com. Thank you. Have a good day and good luck.